love it. Why are you here? You're some kind of casual observer. We don't take kindly to that around here. Either you love it, you adore it with every fibre of your being, or you're doing it wrong. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Metal Obelisk, Kiwikaki in the yellow trunks playing Protoss versus his opponent, the one and only Morrow, in the red trunks playing Zerg. My God, there is nothing between these guys, is there? It is unbelievable. This is one of the best series I've ever seen, and we're only 2 games in! Can my vocal cords survive anymore? They're better. They're going to have to. I don't have a choice in the matter. Oh, wow. Jeez. You just don't see this caliber of play all the time. You don't. Kiwikaki, the pile right down there in his natural expansion. We've seen that one before. We're going to take that pretty early. Could be looking for that Forge play as well. It is a possibility. GLHF to everybody. Was very, very focused. It's like, oh yeah, we sort of forgot to have that common courtesy amongst sportsmen, e-sportsmen, folks. Very important. Okay, Morrow, what's your plan? Are you going to turn this into an economic nightmare for Kiwikaki? Or is Kiwikaki going to pull something out of his hat? And that's one big hat, folks. You got to fit several motherships in that hat. It is a large hat. It's larger than my hat, which I'm wearing right now, I might add. One does not cast simply without the hat. Doesn't happen. I'd use the little in-ear headphones for it. It does the job, though. Very important to wear the casting hat. Here comes that Forge. Now, can Kiwikaki pull it off? More to the point, is he going to try and wall his opponent in once again? Because we saw in the game that he tried that. Didn't actually work out for him. Looking to try and re-execute that strategy. Morrow is being very cautious about that probe. Doesn't want any nonsense going on with that Forge, not quite available. He's going to dump a pylon down. He has the resources for it. Fisticuffs between the two, which will prevail. The prize fighter right here, the Italian stallion. Probe says no. We'll chill out for the time being. You know, I never really understand it when people do that. They just make their drones or whatever spaz out on the screen. It's having an epileptic fit, guys. Oh, God, help it. Somebody bring it medical attention. Spawning pool on its way. Nothing right now for Kiwikaki. Not yet, anyway. He is saving up tons. Forge fast expansion right here. There you go. That's his strategy for the time being. Metabolic boost coming up straight away for Morrow. Kiwikaki is going to need a couple of cannons to deal with that. He knows it. One already on the way to hopefully repulse that initial wave of Zerglings that he knows is coming. We know is coming. And Morrow certainly knows is coming. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it was some kind of decision made by a third party. You know, I have to wonder if the players of StarCraft ever delegate to somebody else. I wonder if the Zerg does that. Sort of sub-employees, middle management for the Zerg. You know, there are games where that happens. A lot of turn-based games do that. You're able to delegate various roles. But this is a real-time strategy, folks, so not really the kind of game where you want to be doing that. You suddenly realize that you've gone AFK for 20 minutes and your Zerg has built a bunch of Ultralisks. It's like, oh my God, why did you waste so much money? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Nexus on its way up. Gateway to back it up as well. You're not going to simply sit on cannons and hope for the best. That's a terrible idea. But it does mean that that Nexus is secure for the time being. Not an awful lot can really be done there by Morrow. Probe goes down, and we had so little time together. Actually on its way up for Morrow as well. Metabolic boost is almost complete. Does he have the units to really make a run for it? No, he really doesn't. He's got 4 Zerglings. 4 Zerglings with metabolic boost will be an annoyance and nothing else. Look at that, Kiwikaki with his photon cannon in the mineral line too. 1 cannon, 2 cannon, 3. Cybernetics core at the back right there. Trying to maybe hide it? I wouldn't really bother. Oh, wow! The Protoss is building a cybernetics core? Who'd have thunk it? Nice placement for your Overlord there. Big fan of that. Very stylish. Stylish in the middle. It's good. Keeps an eye on things. You never know, things could sneak through the air vents. Could happen. Considering it's Kiwikaki, I wouldn't be remotely surprised by this. Suddenly Mothership appears right here, out of nowhere. He was like, well, how did you do that? I don't have any explanation. I'm sorry, I don't. It just appeared. It just came to me, this brilliant strategy. But we're not really doing an awful lot right now. Looking to get some aggression on with 20 speedlings. Are they going to be able to run the line of 4 photon cannons? They could certainly do a little bit of damage. It's going to be risky, though. Photon cannons are blasting away at those Zerglies. Tries to run it. Takes a few probes with him for good measure. It's not good, though. You see how Kiwikaki broke off from the mineral mining and got in the optimum position for those cannons to bring down pain and suffering. He lost 13 Zerglings in the process for the cost of no probes. Excellent defensive play. Now he's just blocked him in. They can't go anywhere. It's like, well, we might as well take the Simon X core out while we're, because it's not like we can do anything else. Beating on it there. Nicely done. He's trying to create some kind of wildlife reserve right there. Hems them in for their own good, folks. Seriously, I tell you, Zerglings have no road sense. They get run over by Hellions all the time. It's terrible. They're like the Maine Coons of the Zerg world. Hatchery morphing into lair right here for Morrow. Decided that speedling strategy is not going to be all that effective, and do you really blame him? Kiwikaki's just built more cannons than you could possibly imagine. That expansion is very safe for the time being. He's going to have to break out something a little bit more unpleasant than that. Roach Warren on the way, Evolution Chamber on the way, 3 extractors as well. Looking for Hydralisk, I would think maybe going for Mutalisk. You never know, you could go for the side right here. What's Kiwikaki's response to that? Kiwikaki's response is, well, actually, I'd like to build 5 more gateways. Is that okay with you? Oh, sorry, I didn't run it past the committee. Didn't get it countersigned. Kiwikaki, what are you doing? You're breaking your own pylons! Of course, we know exactly why he's doing that, but hey. It's blue-on-blue action, folks, here from the Protoss player. Little bit unpleasant. 5 gateways on the way. Robotics facility at the back. Another expansion coming up here for Morrow. That would be his 2nd and his 3rd base. No real signs of aggression right here from Kiwikaki. Not that he really needs to. For the time being, he's in a pretty commanding position. He took good resources there from his opponent. Hell, most of these minerals lost it from the fact that he blew up his own pylon. Ground armor on its way. What else do we have? What else are you going to build, Kiwikaki, for us? Awful lot. 5 gateways. Looking perhaps for a heavy stalker push, supported by Immortals if roaches come out. Or perhaps looking for some drop play, also a possibility. No, it's Kiwikaki. Of course it's not. It's a bunch of sentries. Why not? It'll be very helpful, at least for defending this against the 2nd wave attack that will no doubt come at some point. His opponent heavy on the roaches right now. Upgrade to the Zerg missile attacks level 1. I can really only mean one thing. Roach Hydralisk would be the possibility. More Stalkers now warping in. That's a fairly potent force right there. 5 Sentry, 5 Stalker, 3 Zealot for Kiwikaki. Facing off against 8 Roaches, 3 Queens, and 3 Zerglings. Morrow has a look around. Oh god, no! The Zealot! It scouts it, but it's not going to be getting out of there alive. Goes down to blaze of glory. Okay, a lot more coming in. Hydralisk Den and Spire. Hydra Den is either now finished, or he just cancelled it without me noticing. Hydra Den up. There you go. Got a lot of variety there. A lot of possibilities. 2nd Forge on its way, ladies and gentlemen. Upgrade heavy Kiwikaki. Already got the advantage in terms of weapons and ground armor. As you can see there, 1 upgrade to piece versus a single missile attack upgrade for the Roaches. Blink is on its way as well. This is going to get interesting. Now, once again, we see Morrow doing what he likes to do best. He is an economic maestro. He loves to get his economy rolling heavily, and that's exactly what he's doing. If we have a look at his income, he is doing pretty damn well for himself. Kiwikaki, however, pulling off and setting up another expansion right here. Morrow is absolutely owning in terms of the economy, though. He really is. But Kiwikaki will be able to catch up eventually, especially once he gets that expansion running. I'll be more concerned about the fact that there's a bunch of roaches headed down to that expansion. Upgrades coming up as well. Tunneling Claws. Zerg Missile Upgrade Level 2. Glow Reconstruction already available. That expansion is absolutely toast. Morrow goes straight in for it. Here's the warp in. A waste, in my honest opinion, but there you go. We've got more on the way. Will Kiwikaki be able to fend them off? No, he won't. Morrow's not having any of that nonsense. Won't be drawn away from that. That's going to be a loss of a Nexus right here. Stalkers drive him away. I wonder how many roaches he's going to lose to this. Looks like he's going to stand and deliver. Blinks out of the way, and the force field tries to block it off. Tries to... Oh, nice! Nice catch right there. Slices that force in half and grabs him. It's good stuff. Kiwikaki twats him. There you go. There's an English term for you. Twats. You have it right here. You don't hear this on any other broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's a unique thing. Come on, I need some gimmick. not like I know anything about StarCraft. You know, I was brought into this like, well, I would like you to cast a little bit of Age of Empires, and then psych, it's actually StarCraft. Like, damn you guys! Why would you do this again? Can you cast Age of Empires? That would be good. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I would like to cast, actually. I would love to cast Empire Earth. Well, I've got a counter strategy coming in right here to those swordsmen. He has a nuclear B-52 bomber. Yeah, that'll do. So, Kiwikaki, what aren't you building here? I just have to ask this out of curiosity. We're just going to wall off this entire ramp right here. Slaughter firepower coming in. Roaches have an awful lot of upgrades. We're going to have a look as well. Morrow's spreading out that Zerg spread. That is worrying. He's already got one expansion in terms of advantage against his opponent. He's going to have two if he's not careful. Kiwikaki will be able to secure that for the time being, but that is the majority of his forces, so the rest of his expansions and his main base could be potentially vulnerable. What's coming here? He's got Hydralisks on the way. It is Roach Hydra. No question about that. Did I just see you building 3 hatcheries? He's actually building 3 hatcheries. Unbelievable. Crazy stuff. Upgrades, folks. Ground armor level 3. Protoss weapon level 3. Very rare that we see that. Very rare. Kiwikaki pumping out those upgrades. Are they going to make the difference? Not bothering with shields yet. But like I said, that double forge build is interesting. No question about that. Damn you, statue! Why did you have to be there? It accidentally got in the way of the Stalker firepower. And when I'm talking Stalker firepower, I'm talking 30 Stalkers with Blink backed up by sentries. That is dangerous. Especially if he starts to push in. He's looking to push in on +3/+3, but these take ages to complete. There you go, snipe me off groups of Vanguard Roaches. The concern that I would have here is, yeah, he's got upgrades, but so many upgrades. That ground armor is going to make a huge difference against the Hydralisks. Tear an awful lot of potential damage, and a Hive upgrade coming up for Morrow as well. So yeah, you combine those armor upgrades with the Guardian Shield, and yes, you can take an awful lot of the bite out of the Hydralisk force. The thing is, he's just roaming around right now with impunity, sniping off everything he possibly can. Waiting for those upgrades to finish 40 engages, and of course, as you do when you Kiwikaki, we're going to build 3 robotics facilities. And why not? Why not? Mix a few immortals in there, and those roaches are going to be torn into tiny little pieces. He knows it. Kiwikaki now has the upgrades, at least he will in the next 20 or so seconds. That's when he'll choose to engage. More Stalkers on the way. Doesn't matter if he's got a base advantage. He has 41 Stalkers. 41 Stalkers. And here's the thing. Morrow thinks it can counter that with Hydralisks, but honestly, with +3/+3, I am not convinced. It might work. +1 upgrade already for Morrow. So melee attack upgrade and flyer attack. The diversity here, not really dedicating himself to too much. Robotics Bay coming up, no big surprise to counter those Hydralisks. But I have to wonder, even if those +3/+3s might even be enough to break the line. They're certainly going to take the Roaches apart, no question about that. Slicing his way through them. Now the question is, what can they do up against that? Because that is an awful lot of Hydras. If we talk about reduction, though, heavy armor, they've got +2 upgrades, so they're going to do 14 damage. You take 2 off of those from the Guardian Shield. You then look at the armor, 4 armor from that. That is very significant. Almost cutting, in fact, yes, cutting the damage in half, potentially. You see, Morrow thinks he's got the counter to it, but not necessarily. However, here's the problem. If Kiwikaki decides to wait too long, he's going to be in big trouble. Great Aspire is on its way. Corruptor's up as well. Both of them have a huge amount of money, of course, because they are right now at supply cap. Of course, it's always dangerous to have a Zerg at a ton of money, because they can do an awful lot. Right now, the question is, what is Kiwikaki going to do with that force? Is he going to just run around and try and do damage to those little Vanguards? Obviously, actually going to go in for the kill. Because if he waits too long, he's going to be up against those flying horrors. There are 8 Corruptors already in the air. 6 on the way as well. Backed up by that Great Aspire, which is going to be up in 5 seconds' time. Plus the Zerg upgrades. I believe he's now got 2 in that. He's even upgrading shields now, Kiwikaki. It's a tech race, folks. It's an arms race. Are we finally going to get an engagement? Is Kiwikaki willing to go in? Without Colossi backup, maybe not. Runs his way up there and meets a wall of horrible tendrils. Good lord, that's Japanese hentai stuff going on right there. So many tentacles! Don't do hentai, kids. 37 Hydras versus 43 Stalkers and 6 Sentries. Tries to run the gauntlet, loses a Stalker, but sighs his way through the defenses. This is going to be it, or is it? Kiwikaki still not willing to go in there. Shield's not covering the whole lot either. Blocks off with force fields. Unfortunately, Morrow now has the Brood Lords up in the air, and this could be devastating for him. Is he looking for the warp in? Does he have the Observer in the air to make that happen? He has visibility. He could blink on up there, and he could do massive damage in the process. No Mothership. No Mothership. Doing big damage to the Hydralisk. Here we go. This is messy, folks. Reasonable trade right there. He needs to bring out those Guardian Shields to really make the difference. He's able to tear an awful lot out of the damage coming in right here. Tearing his way through those Hydras. But the Hydras are doing massive damage as well, even with those +3 upgrades. Kiwikaki now down to 23 Stalkers. And, of course, oh my god, there are 12 Brood Lords in the air. Jeez. 12 Brood Lords. Kiwikaki warps in more reinforcements. Trying to reach his supply count once again. Colossi on the way to back him up against the Hydralisk, but I'll be more worried about that. Thing is, if you're able to get enough Stalkers in there and blink, you can take him out. That line is doomed, no question about that. Broodlings are fired from all the way over there. Let's slice a few out with the Colossi. That might help at least repress them for a little bit. Does he have the force to come in after the Broodlords? So there's the blink. Looks to get one. He takes one. Looks to take two. There we go. And 3. 4 out of the air. Look at that. Takes one with every single salvo. Huge amount of damage inflicted. But Kiwikaki losing an awful lot of Stalkers in the process. Units lost, however. Morrow still losing an awful lot more. Additional warping. How many gateways has that guy got? Continues to push the pressure in. And Morrow is looking to be in a little bit of trouble right there with the Brood Lords. Stalker blink. 1 down. 2 down. 3. 4. There you go. Carving his way through it. Morrow doesn't have a response to that right now. He really doesn't. That was pricey. No question about that. Deploys as many as he can, but repressing the Broodlings with Kiwikaki's Colossus. Oh, wow. It's good. It's very, very good. Pushes him away eventually, but at what cost, folks? That is a lot of Broodlords taken out of the air. Massive numbers of Broodlords taken out of the air. And the funny thing is, Kiwikaki can replace all of those Stalkers in a tiny amount of time. Can Morrow replace what he's got? Not looking so likely right now. Oh, wow! Kiwikaki gets his way in there with a single Stalker. Not an awful lot he can really do with that. But hey, it's nice you got the harassment in there nonetheless. Now would be a good time, I think, to have a look at the economy. Pretty much equal right now, honestly. Base count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for Kiwikaki. You've got this one right here, which is still not taken by... I know he's about to take it. There you go. And of course, why wouldn't he? Looking to go and grab that expansion there for Morrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases and 6 is what he's looking for right here. Looking to still get that base advantage. But again, economy pretty solid on both sides. We're breaking out the Ultralisks, folks. This is what I call a long macro game. Ultralisks are on their way for Morrow. An interesting idea. And why wouldn't it? Upgrades of all colors. Ventral Sacs upgrade looking for drops. So evenly matched, these players. Going to town, brutalizing each other. Looking for yet another engagement. 40 Stalkers on the field. They also have a shield upgrade now. Surprised he's not even going for more than that, if he can afford it. Defends himself against a little bit of harassment right here, but as you see from the side, Broodlings slice their way through and take that gold expansion out. Base trading right here. Kiwikaki forces his way forward. He's got a lot. I mean, those Colossi are going to do... Oh, wow, there you go. Colossi are going to be able to do a great job of dealing with the Broodlings. They slice their way through very quickly. Minimal damage being done to the shields of the Stalkers right here. Yet more Stalkers coming in. Once again, pretty much everybody at supply limit. An epic game, ladies and gentlemen. An epic game. And here we go once again. Blinking it. Takes 1, takes 2. Looking for it once again. A lot of Corruptors up in the air, though. They're going to do big damage to those Colossi. Are they going to be enough? I'm not entirely convinced, though. Looking to take the Broodlings out. We take the Broodlings out. We've got so many. There you go. All one Broodling left. Only a single Broodling left. Corruptor coming in from the side. Slice the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Colossus. 6 Colossi taken down. But the Stalkers are still up. The Stalkers are still up. What's on its way? 6 Ultralisks. Kiwikaki continues to push forward because there's no ground firepower available now for Morrow. How much damage he's going to do before those Ultras come out? That could be potentially dangerous. Hydralisk is on the way, no question about that. Tries to side his way through, does an awful lot of damage to those Zerglings. They try and desperately do what they can, which is not an awful lot. Corruption going in all the sides just to do that little bit extra damage. Queen valiantly holds its own. Not good. God save the Queen because nobody else is going to. There you go. Takes the Corruptors out as well. Lots of anti-air firepower siding through. No more Broodlords for him. However, Ultralisks are on their way. And here we go. This is where things start to get entertaining. Ultras coming from the side. Ultras coming from the side as well. Tries to blink away. It's a good one. Can he grab one? Oh, wow. They are not happy. They are not happy one bit. Slicing their way through the Stalkers. They try to desperately blink away, but they are unstoppable. Unstoppable force of Ultralisk moving in. Can he snipe off an expansion with it? He tries. He doesn't quite get it. Needs a little bit more firepower. Now losing Stalker after Stalker after Stalker. Blinks away once again. And the Ultralisks. Look at how much armor they have. Unbelievably dangerous. Just as you thought. Wow, robotics facilities now pumping out the Immortals. That's why he had 4 of them, folks. That's why he had 4 for this very occasion. I dread to think how much damage an Immortal can do with +3. We're about to find out. 65 damage versus Armored. That is brutal, folks. Broodlords are being rebuilt. However, there are plenty of Stalkers still available underground. Corruptors there as well. And as we see a couple of Infestors, a good Blink, can we catch one? Can we catch one? Yes! Nicely done. Loses a single Stalker. Takes an Ultralisk for it. A good trade. Jesus Christ, Kiwikaki. You've got like 20 gateways up there. This is just ridiculous. Oh, it's wonderful, though. Isn't it wonderful? Dark Templar Shrine on the way. Because you know what, Kiwikaki? He forgot to build one of his buildings. Like, we know we're trying to build everything, and we just forgot about that. Is he going to lose another way? This is a bait, folks. Kiwikaki's not going to take it, though. In comes the aggression, brings down firepower on the heavily armored husks of the Ultralisk. Trying to take some out of the air. There we go. Grabs a Broodlord. Can he grab a second? Yes, he can. It's good. It's good. Once those Immortals get into play as well. Oh, wow. Morrow knows it. He sees the Immortals. His greatest fear, perhaps, when he's deploying so many. Deploys a bunch of Zerglings to try and counterattack that one. There we go. High Templar are now available. Dark Templar on the way. Charge us once again. This could be the defining engagement of this particular encounter, though. Here we go. It is nothing but carnage. Ultralisk being taken down left, right, and centre by the firepower of the Immortals. Bringing the Stalkers around the back, blinks out of the way. Takes them out. Ultralisk, 1, 2, and 3 taken out. More on the way, though, still up. They take a hefty toll. 4 kills for that Ultralisk right there. That Immortal getting sliced apart there by... How many Spine Crawlers is that? That's 8 Spine Crawlers, folks. More firepower being brought in on the defensive line, though. I'm not entirely sure Morrow can take it. I don't know if he can hold this. It's looking pretty messy. Goes in with the aggression, blinks out of it. Most of the damage taken away. Taking the firepower on the Immortal shields. Immortals being torn apart nonetheless. They account for themselves very well, but still not able to take the Ultralisks. A counter-attack. Zerglings on the way. Massive warp in from the side. Zealots, in they go. One Ultralisk is going to be taken out right here. It's going to be pretty damn brutal, but look at this. They will not die. Don't call the Immortals call the Ultralisk the Immortals. It would be way, way, way more appropriate. More Hydras from Morrow. What the hell is going on? Neither of these guys will give any ground whatsoever. Units lost. It is brutal. The cost of this war, unbelievable. Morrow's still slightly behind in terms of the amount of resources bled away. However, Kiwikaki with a little bit of distance mining up right here. Should be able to set up, and right now the economy is actually looking in favour of Morrow fairly hefty manner as a result of probably losing this gold mineral expansion, but he's building back up. He is all sorted out with that for the time being. Drops, folks, because there are some things we haven't seen yet. Kiwikaki spots it with his observer. The question is, how is he going to respond to it? He moves in right here. There you see Stalkers moving in from the sides, trying to intercept that drop. It's looking pretty likely. The thing is, there's nothing there. It's a phantom, folks. There are no expansions for you to have. And now, Morrow is kind of stuck there with a force that could be annihilated. In the meantime, we see some harassment with Dark Templar around the side, looking to do some economic damage, and they get it. The amount of damage they do is 60 damage with every single swing. Dark Templar in there, and no Overseers available either. That could be nasty. Spore Crawler's able to grab it, though. Could have been an awful lot worse than it was. When will this game end? How about never? How about Joy Eternal? 5 Ultralisks right here coming up. Unit count is looking... I don't even know what this is looking like. 4 Ultralisks, 17 Hydras, 3 Broodlords, 3 Corruptors, 2 Infestors, 3 Queens, and 9 Zerglings. Up against 6 Immortal, 3 Colossi, 16 Stalker, Dark Templar as well. Aggression Force moving in right here. Backed up by some Overlords for a little bit of drop play if need be. What has he got to meet it with? Colossus, Immortals, Stalkers. And right now also breaking out the High Templar. Not warping them in just yet, but he does have the Amulet upgrade coming in. Observer keeps an eye on exactly what's going on. Those Ultralisks, though, so hard to destroy, even with the firepower of the Immortals being inflicted on them. 500 HP each, heavy armor plating, very difficult to deal with. Infestors on the way. It's a good mixed force there by Morrow. In they come once again. Here comes yet another engagement. I'd say defining engagement, but will it be? Nobody really knows. Focusing finally the Ultralist right here. Can he bring it on down here? Yes, he does. He takes it. Oh dear, those Broodlords are inflicting such heavy damage. Coming in from the side, there's nothing really to deal with. Brings a few Colossi back to try and deal with that, but I'm sorry. The Siege Breakers and the Ultralists are siding their way through. They're doing good damage, but he loses a couple there. It's good stuff. Still another one. Can he take another Ultras? Yes, he can. Can the Immortal deal with it? Oh, wow. He's so close to killing that one. Backs up a little bit prematurely there, in my opinion, but this is mutually assured destruction on both sides. Wow, takes one down. Ro8 Ultralist looks for a second, takes a second. Can he take a third? Yes, he can. Now, what has he got on the ground to counteract what is coming in from Kiwikaki? Not too much. He's got 2 Broodlords in the air. 2 Broodlords is all he's got available, plus 5 Hydras and 13 Zerglings. A good defense there of Kiwikaki's expansion. Here is the warp in. Additional Sorkers on the way, that's what he's relying on right here, and he now has 18 of them. It's a good force backed up by a single Colossus as well. That will handle the Broodlords quite nicely. I'm more concerned about those Ultralists that just popped up out of nowhere, because right now he has 8. 8 Ultralists, that blink ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference. You don't want to dance with an Ultralist, that I can tell you, and once again, Warfare and Brutality come in. The Immortal looks to try and take the damage, but it's not going to be able to. It can't hold up against the Zerglings as well. They're slicing their way through there. Ineffective for Kiwikaki's Immortals. Getting pushed back again. Difficult to call this game, honestly, but if I had to, I'd say Morrow with a slight advantage. Nothing that Kiwikaki's really been able to deploy thus far has been decisive in dealing with those Ultralists, but he's just put out 5 Dark Templar, and that very well might make the difference. He's mixed them into the force. His opponent does not have any Overseers. This could be potentially lethal, because of course Dark Templar do a massive amount of damage to basically anything. If they are left unmolested, that could be an absolutely decisive move. Morrow moves in from the side, looking to see what he can see. He wants to go for that gold middle expansion once again. Additional warping coming in from Kiwikaki. 15 Zealots are on the field. 3 High Templar available. No merge to Archon as of yet, looking for the Psystorm. Do a little bit of AoE damage, or indeed a lot of AoE damage. Comes in from the side right here. Wants to try and take it out, and of course he does. There you go. The question is he going to be able to make too much difference with those Dark Templar? Is he going to be able to force his opponent into an engagement? And right now, no. Morrow is way too careful for that. Single Ultralisk tries to take out an expansion. Doesn't manage it. Second Ultralisk also doesn't manage it. Bit of a pricey investment there. Once again, Kiwikaki still ahead in terms of units lost. 471, 50,000 resources worth. They are mining out the entire map here. Income way lower. Kiwikaki, however, falling way behind. His constant harassment by Morrow there is really hurting him badly. However, Morrow is starting to mine this map out. He's got a gold mineral spot, but the rest of it is looking very low indeed. However, just want to announce, by the way, folks, sorry, I got called into Skype theft. Oh, Christ. No way. I don't know if you can still hear me, folks. Unfortunately, my StarCraft 2 just crashed right there.
We do still, I saw you leave. We still have you on the stream, though.
Yeah, I didn't quit that, I'm afraid. My StarCraft 2 just crashed.
Yeah, partially my fault there. I called him out of Skype. I was hoping you had a second monitor. A little bit of production error there. This game is still going. Absentis, are you in the channel and watching the live in the game? Maybe you can take over casting till we get TV back.
I'm being asked to cast from the stream, but of course, what that would cause to happen is massive latency. That would be incredibly difficult, because we have a delay on it. That would be impossible.
That would be really difficult. And I am just a producer, not a caster, and you can see my voice is already suffering, so I'll try to fill in where I can. But, yeah, this game is still going. They're held up, and as you said earlier, they've pretty much mined out just about everything on the map. It looks like this may be one of the final conflicts. Really difficult game, nice fungal growth on the Zealots, really going to put them to a stop. everything's coming around. All these ultralisks are kind of coming in, eating storm after storm. Storm's just collapsing on those ultralisks, collapsing on the hydras behind them. It's going to come really close. It's hard to decide, just like every battle in this game. It's very difficult to decide who's going to come out on top here. Looks like a slight advantage to Kiwikaki, but of course with the income difference, those steadying out. Looks like the income's everybody's distance mining at this point, and it's just making it very difficult. Broodlord still in play, pushing each army down to a minimal amount of units. It's really going to come down to macro at this point. Difficult game.
No question about that. I wish I could see it. I really do. I want to see the conclusion to this game. We're going to have to deal entirely with the producer's commentary right here, but this has been absolutely brutal. There's no question about that. Unbelievably brutal. Ultralisks, they just will not die, those things. Unbelievable upgrades on them as well. So much damage, so much blood.
Morrow is coming in with a drop to Kiwikaki's last full expansion. This could be devastating. Kiwikaki trying to respond with what units he has left. It's trying to spawn around him. Morrow's going for it exactly for the Nexus. He knows he has to get this Nexus. He's not even going to stop. He's not breaking up. He's focused on the Nexus. He's got 3 roaches left. The Nexus is down to 100 health points. 29 health points. They're dug in. They are going to get it. They dug in. They burrowed into the ground, healing up, and ended up pulling off getting on a Nexus.
I have to wonder, what exactly does Kiwikaki have in terms of forces? Is he able to respond to that?
Yeah, if we take a look at army size, Kiwikaki has almost nothing. He's purely down to long-distance mining. He's got, a small group of Dark Templars, Zealots, 1 Immortal, but really, I guess 154 for mouz Morrow. So Morrow's up to, he's got quite a big army count. But also long-distance mining, moving all the spine crawlers up, trying to defend his position. Each player just kind of functioning off what they have left, but really, Kiwikaki is really behind at this point.
And Caster, I can step in and help out if you want me to.
Please do. You're a much better caster than I am. I'm just trying to do what I can.
All
Go
right.
ahead, take over.
There you go, folks, saving the day.
All right, folks, so at the goals, we have Morrow with all of his drones actually trying to mine out there. He only has about 1,000 more minerals and a huge drop in the main of Kiwikaki. Zerglings all over the place, taking down every last gateway of Kiwikaki. He has a lone cannon trying to defend the main, and it looks like he's bringing all of his forces back to defend, but quite frankly, he's just so behind at this point at only about 100 supply versus 140. A DT getting spotted and immediately taken out, losing a Twilight Council, all the rest of his gateways, and at this point, if we look at the income, Kiwikaki is just so behind. He's long distance mining from one main, trying to rebuild at the 6 o'clock, and Caster, I'm not really sure if he can come back. He's trying to push up to the gold, but he simply does not have the forces, and he's getting in place for some storms. Ooh, some huge storms going down, but, I mean, there's about 100 drones on one mineral patch, so if he hits that, he hits it! Oh my goodness, all of those drones taking a ton of damage, and at this point, Kiwikaki is forced to fall back with the remainder of his stalkers, and
yeah, the probe count is narrowed down. Kiwikaki actually, they're about even on probes, but of course the damage done to Kiwikaki's base at this point by that drop, just continuing constantly. He's losing his tech. He's losing most of his production. I mean, he's so spread out over the map that he's not completely out. I mean, with some good micro, he could come back into this, believe it or not. I mean, it's down to just the base units. Each army is just, I mean, he's got 12 links, 16 links. He's going to load those up. He's going to drop them into what's left of Kiwikaki's base. This could be the deciding moment.
Oh, and here we go, another drop at the 6 o'clock main, and we see Morrow moving with all of his Zerglings, all of Kiwikaki's mining it from this one base. If he loses all these units, he will be down, and the Zerglings get a nice round on the Nexus with storms going down, so he's going to kill off a few of them. I think Kiwikaki will be able to barely hold right here, and oh my god, this is such a close game. If we look at the income again, it is now in Kiwikaki's favor, in fact. He does have a little bit less gas, and he is going to be able to snipe down that Broodlord. Is he going to lose the main, though? Ooh, 11 health on the Nexus. Oh, and the last Broodling gets it, and folks, at this point, Kiwikaki is officially doing no more mining. He has about 3 more mineral patches with 200 minerals each that he can mine from, besides the distance mining, and the Zealots trying to fight off those lings. But I think with this next drop at the...
If you look, Morrow has completely mined out his side of the map. I mean, it's gone. Every mineral is just about gone.
Yeah, but if we look...
There's almost nothing left.
Yeah, sure, but if we look at the 4 o'clock position, Morrow is trying to finish it off by taking out the production facilities, but at this point he needs to actually take out the gateways because Kiwi simply does not have enough to produce out of those robotic facilities anyway, so it's not all that helpful. But I think those cannons are going to come into huge play here. If he's able to fight off those Zerglings with those cannons, Morrow is not going to have any ability to produce anything anymore because he is currently only mining 100 minerals per minute.
Yeah, I think you cut out, but I'm still here. And yeah, he's down to, I think he's just going to pile up and go all in with what units he has left. I think he knows that Morrow is mined the other side of the map, and the army counts are about as even as they've been for a while, with, of course, Morrow having a slight advantage in numbers, but the micro and the heavier unit ability, the high tech that he still has, he's got one Templar left, and with a Miracle Storm, or maybe 2 Storms if he can squeeze them out, depending on the energy, he could really come back. He sees Morrow moving up with everything he's got. He's pulled his queens. He's got, just a few lings left, and he's just getting ready to move in for what he hopes is the final kill. And Morrow, taking, what he's got, is moving up. He's got these Zealots, and they're going to come to a head right here for this possibly the final battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kiwikaki moving in with some nice storms on all those units. Zealot's trying to get a nice round. And at this point, all the queens are even involved in the battle with some beautiful transfuses from Morrow. And GG from Kiwikaki, taking it